Note: if you start measuring success by high fives and bedtime stories, blame the podcast.
Hey, welcome to Dad Space. It's Dave with you. Hope you're doing well. Hi, Dad. I also am a dad. So, hey, we can hang out. It's called Dad Space. It's a place for you and me to be dads. Oh, that's great. It's kind of like a little sign. The parking spaces that are like set aside for people. We need a Dad Space parking spot sign where we could park and say, I'm a listener of Dad Space and I get this special spot. Probably like most of us dads, though, we're going to park like 5 miles from the entrance and just walk in. We don't want somebody denting our car. Welcome to Dad Space. I'm glad you're here. Let's get into this. This is great. Okay, so I've got to ask, because it's kind of in the title, how was your day? Dad, how was your day? Yeah, right? It's an okay question. We get it often. We use it often, but how deep is that question? I think I just did the 6-7 thing with my hand there. How deep is that question for you? As a dad, I think we have to go beyond that. How was your day type question, that level of connection with our family. And we need to boost that connection as dads and go deeper with our family than just the external, the easy questions as dads. So I'm glad you're here. We're going to talk about this here on the show. And yeah, I do want to know, though, truly, how was your day? I hope it was good. And I hope that this helps you no matter where you are, starting your day, middle of the day, end of the day. It's Dad Space. Let's go. It's hard to believe this is episode 260 already. I'm just amazed that we're still going and that you're still here. So that's great. If this is your first time listening to the show, I just want to kind of orient you to what's been going on here for the last 259 episodes. I created the show as a response to a thing that happened to me as a dad. When one of my kids were born in the hospital room, the doctor looked at me and said, "We're here for your wife. She's the main priority," which is obvious. And they said, if you're going to pass out, there's nobody going to catch you. Like we're all too busy to help you in this moment. And there's really nobody here for you. And kind of a little nudge, a little shot to the arm. And it was meant to kind of break the tension in the room, because it's quite intense having a baby, even for a dad, I got to say. And that's why we do the show. And just that feeling, that overwhelming feeling of dread the next day after all the family had come and gone. My wife is resting. I'm holding my newborn. And that doctor's words, like, listen to your doctor, everybody. Yeah, I listened to my doctor, and it bothered me. There's nobody here for me. There's nobody here for me. There's nobody here for you. And I'm like, wow, it's true. As a new dad, like we are like thrust into being a parent. And yes, we are alongside our partner through the whole process, and we're there on the good days and the bad days for that whole 9-month period. But there's a deeper connection that they have with the baby that we don't have. We're disconnected. It's not happening to us physically, it's happening to them. And in that moment, I feel like there's a gap there where their whole world is around the baby and our whole world is on the outside, kind of like a spectator sport. We're there to support, but we don't really know what it's like, and we can't really relate to what's happening to our partner. And then that feeling like, well, what about me? I need support here. I need help. I need somebody to be with me. And when somebody tells you there's nobody here for you, it's just hard to navigate as a dad. So that's the premise of the show, is I wanted you to realize as a dad listening, whether this is your first time or your 260th time, that this podcast is designed to be a conversation between you and I, even though most likely we haven't met, about being a dad and doing our best with what we can. It's a line that I love, attributed to Theodore Roosevelt. Do what you can with what you have where you are. Do what you can with what you have where you are. This whole idea that you might not feel like you're equipped to be a dad, but you have enough to get going, and you can always learn something new. But do what you can, just whatever you can do that. Do what you can with what you have. What do you have? The knowledge you have, the experience you have, the people in your life to support you. Those are the things you have. And do what you can with what you have where you are. Like, you don't have to be the future dad to be a good dad, to be the current dad, be the good dad, be you. But always be growing and always be learning. And I hope you learn something from this, from the topics we cover and how we approach fatherhood. I hope it gives you value. If it does, reach out to me at dadspace.ca. I'd love to meet you. So your teenager walks in, drops their stuff on the floor by the front door in a pile. You told them not to do that, by the way. And they walk past you, and you're like, hey, how was your day? And all you get is that one word answer. Fine. And they walk past you, they go to the fridge, they empty the fridge, and you don't see them again until tomorrow. And just like that opportunity for connection has slipped by. In that moment, it was a very surface level interaction. Not a lot of depth there with the one-word answers. You know, those one-word answers, right? They're just, oh, come on. But it's not their fault. That was probably a bad question. How was your day? It's a very flippant question. That's a good word. My dad used to use that word, flippant response, he would say. A flippant question for you to ask, how was your day? It's like, there's no stakes to that. There's nothing tied to that. There's no connection to that question. It's just a throwaway question, really. This surface level conversation that we have with our family, sometimes it happens in the busyness of life and a busy family. But we got to move beyond this kind of surface level conversation and connection with our kids and our partner into more of a practical, intentional, thoughtful way. This isn't about becoming the perfect communicator in your home. Nobody expects that of you. It's about becoming a present one, like being, again, talk about this a lot, about being present in the home. The kind of dad who creates space. See that? It's got the name right in there, dad space. The kind of dad who creates space for real conversations instead of routine check-ins. Because strong family communications, I've found, for my home and my life, isn't built on those big speeches and grandiose things that we do as dads. Take a lot of money, time, and effort. It's about those small, little, consistent moments of attention, reinforcing that bond, that strength. Think of it like if you've ever watched somebody build a foundation for a house. They map it all out. They create their forms with all the materials are going to be put into. Then they put these like wire rods sticking out of the ground. And that's there to kind of hold everything together. It gives it some structure, some skeleton, right? That's what we need to be. We need to do things that hold the family together with structure and integrity. That's our role. As much as I find that how was your day question to be quite shallow, there's really nothing wrong with that question. The problem is it's when it stops there, and that's the extent of your relationship with your kids, the extent of your communication. Kids often don't know how to summarize an entire day and give you a good answer back. Partners, they may be carrying more than they're ready to explain in the moment. They haven't even thought through it all. They haven't formulated an answer to that. So when they get those one-word answers back from your partner or your kids, don't be insulted by that. It might be the opportunity to maybe approach it in a new way, a different way, that allows for your partner or your kids to actually give you a better answer. Maybe it's not the answer that's terrible. It might be just the question. And as dads, I think it's easy for us to default to efficiency in our conversation or communication because that's how we're wired, maybe at work, to be efficient, give the best results in the shortest amount of time. So we use questions like, how was your day, to be the thing that is efficient in the moment. It gets things done. We can move on. We got to be more curious than efficient in our communication with our kids and with our partner. If we want deeper connection, we have to ask better questions and create safer spaces for real answers. Some of the answers we might not even like, but we got to create that space. Shifting from a closed question, how was your day? Fine, to a more open question. What was the best part of your day today? Like, what was the thing that made you the happiest? Now it requires some thought. That requires some introspective. And it's also limits it to a specific thing that you're asking about, not a general question about an entire day. Ask better questions. Asking what made somebody laugh is a good question. What surprised you today? What surprised you? What challenged you today? That invites people to tell a story. And instead of a one-word response, you're going to get better communication. You've opened the door with a better question. So try that. You can keep that "how was your day" question, but don't use it as much as you do. Try to find another one. Don't be a one-trick pony with that question. It's a funny terminology, one-trick pony. Do more than that. Get more than one trick. Be a 2 or 3 trick pony. Okay? There's your homework. Another big key shift, I think, here, too, as well, is learning to listen to understand rather than to fix. This has been my struggle as a husband, is I see my wife frustrated about something that's happened at work, and I just want to jump in and fix. I just want to fix it. I'm a fixing guy. My mind is like 3 steps ahead of people when they're talking. I'm at solution mode, still listening to the question. Not because I'm bored, but I'm wired to think that way. I think quickly. I think future. I think all the possibilities summarized. Bam, here's the answer. That's just how I've been my entire life. It's really hard to shut it off. So I have to be conscious of that. And I need to pull back on the reins a little bit when my partner or my kids are working out in real time something they're struggling with and thinking it through. I don't need to step on them, talk over them, and shove my answer down their throat. I need them to verbalize what they're thinking and let them go through the process. They might end up at the same place as me or somewhere better by me just holding space for them and allowing them to kind of go through the process with me is a better connection point than me just stopping you mid-sentence and telling you what I think and what I think you should do. So learn to listen to understand instead of to fix. I think we just naturally slide into problem-solving mode by default for a lot of dads that I talk to. But your child or your partner, they often just need you to allow them to be heard. Pausing before responding, reflecting back what you've heard, saying what you heard back to them. I think that our family will open up more when we give simple responses that acknowledge emotion and invite more sharing than to simply jump to the finish line in the conversation. Over time, this kind of listening strengthens connection and makes our connection with our family deeper. So don't be so quick to jump to the end of the conversation. And you've only been talking for a millisecond. Slow down. What about creating a safe environment? Why is this so essential? If every conversation turns into a correction or a lecture or a monologue, people will begin to hold back from you. People already know that you're going to cut them off, so why should I talk to you? Kids especially need to know that they can speak openly without immediate judgment, without condemnation or being spoken down to or made to feel little. Doesn't mean ignoring teachable moments. Doesn't mean silencing your opinions or your insight, your vast knowledge. But it does mean speaking and separating your connection from your correction so that the relationship stays strong. When your family knows you will respond with a calm and understanding tone, they are far more likely to share honestly and consistently and more often because they can already anticipate what you might say. Presence is also another part here that I think plays a major role in meaningful communication. You don't need long, drawn-out conversations every day. This isn't an interrogation. This isn't a marathon. But what you do need is to be fully engaged in the moments that you have, putting distractions aside. We could talk about this again, making eye contact, giving a few minutes of undivided attention. This really does send that powerful message about what matters most in this moment, and that what matters most is the person in front of you. Those small moments, I think, Really focused connection can often have a greater impact than longer conversations where the attention is divided or stifled. I think we need to model the kind of communication you want to see. It makes a lasting difference when we do this the right way. When you share parts of your own day, including your own challenges and your own lessons learned, you show that open communication is normal and safe. You also need to teach your kids how to listen. Just as much as you need to listen, your kids need to learn how to have better listening skills. So it goes both ways. It's not just about you bending a knee to everyone else in your family. They also need to learn. Your partner needs to learn how to listen to you. Your partner needs to learn that it's not always about them. That you need time to speak up. You need time to unload and not always be waiting your turn and being the last to have anything to say. It goes all the way around. Everybody in the family needs to learn this skill, not just you. So share this episode with them. Let them hear this and go, hey, you need to listen to this. Just saying. This kind of openness, I think, is really going to help you to build trust and encourage others to do the same. Move beyond the how was your day. Isn't about finding that perfect words every time or the perfect question that sparks amazing responses in communication. It's about choosing curiosity over routine. It's about listening instead of fixing. And it's about being present instead of being distracted. When you focus on creating space for real connection, deeper conversations will follow naturally, just as a result. At the end of the day, your family doesn't just need answers from you. They don't need all of that. They just need you to be connected to them. And I think that real shift happens when you show up with attention, one conversation at a time. Better family communication starts with your presence and your intention by asking thoughtful questions. Get beyond the how was your day. Listen without rushing to fix. Don't be in a hurry to get to the finish line. Create a safe space for honest conversation. Wherever you are, be all there. You will build stronger connections with your family, one solitary moment at a time. This isn't a quick pass, drive-through version of communication goals reached. This is a longer journey, a road trip. It's going to take a while. It's going to be uncomfortable. But the result is going to be so much better than a quick win that fades away moments after it happened. Invest in this. Invest in this. Get beyond how was your day. It's time to ask better questions. It's time to listen. It's time to be present. It's time to connect. There's your challenge for the day. Now go ask better questions, and I want to hear from you. Over at dadspace.ca. Talk to you soon. Thanks for being here. Hey, dads, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of the podcast. Thank you for following the show. I'd encourage you to do just so if you haven't done so already. Look at your phone. There's like a little follow button or subscribe, or I don't know what it says on your screen, but there's like a little button at the top of the screen. You click that button. That means every time a new episode of Dad Space shows up, it goes right to your phone. It's waiting for you whenever you're ready. So you don't have to try to remember, what's the name of that show? Space Dad? No, Dad Space. It'll show up right there for you if you follow the show. That'd be great. If you listen on Spotify, like I do, I'm a Spotify user. You can actually leave a comment in every episode, and I will respond as your faithful host to any comments you leave in the episodes. So please jump in. Love to read your comments, your thoughts about the episode. That'd be fun. And if ever you just want to just hang out with another dad, you got a few moments on your time in your day, in your week, and you're like, I'd just like to grab a virtual coffee with Dave. You can always buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com, but you could also just join me for a virtual coffee and we could just chat about dad stuff. I'm always looking forward to meet the people who listen to this show. That brings me a lot of joy. So dadspace.ca, all the information in the show notes. And thank you for being here. And thank you for sharing this podcast with one other dad. I really appreciate you. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you on the next episode. Take care.